Go.
But you don't know this virus. It's new, it's different. It mutates and goes in different directions with a different strain of itself. So whether I'm present or absent, the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam must call our scientists. Come and let's sit down. Our virologists, our epidemiologists, those of us who know the science. We cannot let them bring anything to us that we don't dissect. But you.
All right now.
Right.
Hey, we can hear it twice.
Cannot let them bring anything to us that we are not willing to dissect.
Sect.
Y'all better go get your peoples.
That's right.
Well, welcome. Thursday Talks. This is how we do. This is how we started off. Listen, welcome in everyone. Thank you, team. We got a good show this week, family. Welcoming in the audience. Thank y'all for joining us. Listen, we got good stuff, and of course, always thanking the Seventh Region Coalition team on the ground. Woo!
Superheroes.
Look at this hanging in there. Listen, whatever help we get from our team, we appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a labor of love, family.
That's
We
right.
do this because I say it all the time. We're just really trying to bring you the information that you can utilize, decoding what's in the news and what's in these articles and what's in these things, making sure you're aware of how things are unfolding and the hidden screens that happens, right?
Blind.
Right.
That's right. Got to unveil the truth and destroy the lies. Anyway, just want to welcome everyone in. Thank our little team here. You know, I always say it's a little team, but we're doing big things. Okay. Anyway, I just like the motions of dropping the ball. Anyway, so listen, my name is Sister Michelle. I'm your moderator for this evening.
Hostess with the mostest. Y'all give Sister
Yes.
Michelle that love now.
I give it up. But listen,
Leaves
every
the room.
Thursday, every Thursday we get on. I appreciate our team members. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the audience. I appreciate everyone. What we do it again. We do it out of love. And again, you know what I say before I move on.
Come on.
You need to like. You need to share. That's right, Kim. Like and share. Go grab a friend. Go grab your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your titi, right? Your tio, right? Whatever.
Hermano, Hermana.
Get Ray Ray.
Is a little
Go
Dottie
get
and
Jesus.
everybody.
Go get Maria. Get them all.
Right.
Mhm.
Get them all. We just want to make sure that, again, it's not just for you. It's, remember, once you get armed with the truth, you spread it.
That's right.
So, being that said, again, thank you so much. I'm gonna hand it up to Brother Lau. All right.
You got that. Shoot, these days you better get that baton with two hands.
Right.
That's right.
Run
Thank
like
you
this.
so
Don't run like this. Run like this.
Yes,
Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Praise the Lord to my Christian brothers and sisters. Umgawa Black Power to the Black Revolutionaries and to all you peace
Right.
and freedom loving people on the planet. Peace and blessings and welcome. Seventh Region Coalition in the house tonight, dear family. And it is a hot, needed, and necessary topic going on this evening. You all are not doing your job right now because some of you all know you're going to be trying to get Lottie Dottie and everybody afterwards when you can get them on right now.
right now.
Share, like, and as my beloved sister Kalila say, even if you don't like it, share it.
Sure.
So I'm just going to say, you all know how we are and how we roll, who we are and how we roll, I should say. The Seventh Region Coalition, just think about that lighthouse because it's very, very dark outside, even in the morning. This world is so dark and treacherous right now that if we don't have that guiding light, like that lighthouse, to get that guidance and make it through, we just might be shipwrecked. And right now, we are definitely COVID wrecked, pandemic wrecked. So get your mind right here tonight with the Seventh Region Coalition. Powerful show for you tonight. And I just love these brothers and sisters. I too got to just take a second, Sister Michelle, to salute this mighty, 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 mighty team. Family,
Yes.
we don't just bring you news that you can use. As Sister Michelle said, we break it down so that you won't be confused in your
Come on.
crown. I'm just saying.
Come on.
Hey.
Awesome job, family.
That's a bar.
Let's go ahead. Every once in a while, we just drop it down here. But look, y'all supposed to be getting them folk on right now. Powerful, powerful show. Powerful guests as well. But right now, I want to kick it to my beloved sister, Sister Kalila. There it is. You got it. There it is. There it is.
Got it.
Ah.
Yeah, make sure it's the right.
Right.
We're gonna get it right, y'all.
We're gonna get it right.
In the most holy name of Allah, bearing witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. Oh, my family is in the case for me.
Represent.
Oh, I'm greeting you all in the greeting words of peace in the beautiful Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
And that just simply means peace be unto you. I'm so glad that my family is, shout out to my mom, Sister Barbara, Muhammad. Shout out to my wonderful and beautiful newlywed daughter, Mariam.
Newlywed, all right. Newlywed. Y'all get a newlywed some love. Y'all know it's rough out there. Come on.
Yes. And it's a beautiful thing for you when you say my daughter's married. So it's wonderful. So I'm just waiting on grandchildren, but I digress.
One thing at a time. That was a digress. Is she still on? Yes, she's still on. All right.
Yeah, hopefully she's still on. But again, I am so happy and so excited. And my sister Sean, she's on as well. Hi, Sister Sean. Our whole family.
Oh, you know what, Sister Lita, real quick. Sister Kim just got it. Her daughter just got married too. Let's give her some love too. Right.
Beautiful pictures. Beautiful pictures. Yes. Beautiful pictures. Look, we could talk about our family all day, Sister Kim. Look at my daughter; she's such a mess. So
we're talking about grandchildren,
right?
Like Brand Nubian said, "Slow down."
right. Please, what I am this way. Okay, so but speaking of family, this is what we're here for. We're here for family, and we're here to save our generation. Because what is happening is when we are taking the opportunity to say, what about me? You can't say what about me anymore. It's what about we? That goes from my daughter to her daughter to her daughter. Because let's say if I'm so concerned about me, then I'm stopping with legacy. I have killed the legacy that's going on in what's to come. And if I'm saying, okay, well, it's my body, I can do what I want to do. No. Let's stop for a minute. Why did God create you?
Come on.
Not just for you. So let's stop being selfish with our bodies. And let's start thinking of our future. And our children are our future. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to my dear brother who wears many hats. He has a lot of hats under the hat.
10 more hats underneath that. About 10 more.
Right. My dear brother Tony. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Hey, you didn't pass the baton. There you go. Hey.
He's receiving a holy baton.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Holy baton.
Give me the baton, please.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I like to begin by saying peace, hotep, shalom, abaragani, buenos dias, sakpase, ashe, whatever greeting that you greet your own. I greet you right now in the very language that you greet your own, because we are truly one. And we can't get to the next level of our development without our unity. Our unity is more powerful than an atomic weapon.
Absolutely.
So says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Our unity is a must in this hour. And for us to be well informed so that we can make well-sound decisions in this hour. We're here to eliminate all the confusion and expose what needs to be exposed so that we can be delivered safely to the other side. But that guidance, we're very blessed with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan giving us that guidance. And we're just following instructions, family, because we love our people and we want to see our people safe. And so with that, it's a blessing and honor to serve, and it's a blessing and honor to be on this platform here tonight.
Praise be to Allah.
Guest alert. Guest alert. Y'all better let people know.
You're going to do the honors. Are you going to do the honors, sir?
Family, we got a guest in the house tonight, family. Look, y'all know we got a guest coming on the 7 Reading Coalition. Go get your people. We don't be bringing no ordinary, average Joe and Mo on here. We have an extraordinary guest on the show tonight, dear family. And so as you like, share, tell people, look, why y'all let people get them out the other room?
Get your peeps.
Right. Come on.
Hang on.
Right. Gather around. Right. Gather around. Sister Michelle, who's our special guest this evening?
Oh, can I say? Wait. Before I say it, just want to remind everybody, the theme is a new way forward. The topic is addressing the pandemic from a holistic perspective.
Come on.
The description is healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy immune system. And here to talk about that is our only Dr. Love.
Y'all Dr. Love in the house. Now, family,
Love.
you know you extra special when your name is Love. And Dr. Love, before you say one word, because there might be some people who are just being introduced to you, even though you have now become a friend, a family member, I always learn, grow, and inspire when you come on. I got to tell the people a little bit of something about you, just a little bit, right? So again, we got our beloved brother, Dr. Love. And for those who don't know, he's a doctor of Oriental medicine and the founder of the 5 Love Transformations, based right here in the great state of Florida, and has been a licensed primary care physician and board certified acupuncture physician since 1986. And for those who don't know, he's engaged in the private practice of herbology, acupuncture, and nutrition since January of 1981. And for you academicians out there, you need to know that he received his Bachelor of Arts in 66 and Master's in Biology from the great Temple University in 76. And in 1982, received a PhD in sports medicine from the American College Sports Medicine. And, you know, our beloved brother is well-traveled, well-learned, and he is to be honored in our community. It might take me about another hour to read the rest of the things that are on this bio. And so since we got our brother with us tonight, I'm just going to stop right there and say, my dear beloved brother, welcome to Thursday Night Talks. How you be, the great Dr. George Love?
I'm very humbled at this moment and truly blessed and highly favored by your accolades. And I love and appreciate you all. And thanks for having me as a special guest. I really appreciate it.
You really are. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this brother, I'm going to turn over to our sisters in a minute. But for those of you who are not familiar, he is a giant in our midst.
Yes.
That's right.
And when Sister Michelle talked about a new way forward, how many of y'all been in a broken relationship before? I ain't trying to give you no bad memories. No bad memories, right? But look, it comes to a point in a relationship where you got to go in a new direction, a new way forward, right?
That's right.
How about with this pandemic? How about a new way forward? So to begin our interview with our beloved brother tonight, I'm going to turn over to our sisters and just get ready to enjoy the wisdom that's going to come from our big brother.
Well, I got the first question. Because I got to get the first question in.
Come on.
So, Dr. Love, in relation to the pandemic, what are your experiences and what have you learned since the last time we met? Because he was on our show before, by the way, family. But anyway,
that's right.
I have learned so much. First of all, I had COVID.
Wow.
I had COVID for 14 days. And it attacked my neurological system. It attacked my musculoskeletal system, my digestive system. It attacked my, I said digestive, right?
Yes.
Of course, heart and lungs. So every system in my body was shut down. And I reached out to my acupuncture buddies around the country, and they sent me herbs overnight, and literally within 24 hours, I started to feel better.
Wow.
Wow.
So the first thing was aspirin. Aspirin did away with my neurological problems, which I did not expect. I was not expecting that at all. And when aspirin was first discovered in 1917, somewhere back then, it was called a miracle drug. And it truly is a miracle drug. So my acupuncture buddies showed me that we treat this COVID symptomatically. In other words, we use a different herb formula for every symptom that pops up. So this for the digestion, this for the heart, this for the lungs, this for the urinary tract, this for the bones, this for the joints. And if I hadn't gone through it, you could not have explained it to me.
Wow.
If I didn't actually go through it. So then I started reaching out to some other friends of mine who had also gotten COVID. And a third of them actually died in the hospital because the hospital didn't know what to do.
Wow.
So when things popped up, that's what they did. Now, I got to tell you, I never had a fever. Wow. My temperature never went over 100, which was also really strange. So I realized if I hadn't been healthy already, I would not have been able to make it. Okay, and I got to tell you, I will be 72 in November.
72 young.
I will be 72 years young in November.
I wish we had a close up. I wish we could get just a close up and just make our camera just zoom on in on our brother. Zoom on in.
72 in 30 days.
Where is that?
Brother Lau, you already know that Dr. Love is finna show off. You already know.
So,
beautiful question. The next question that we have been under this pandemic for about a year and a half. How would you assess the overall mental health and well-being of our society?
Oh, that is a loaded question. Try to keep it brief. Before COVID, I'm going to go back 10 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to 2011. The parameters of high blood pressure in 2011 was 130/90. And if you had higher than 130/90, you had high blood pressure. In 2019, they changed the parameters to 120/80. So from 2011 to 2019, in 8 years, they lowered the parameter. Now, what happened between 2011 and 2019? Did we have less or more political stress? Did we have less or more economic stress? Did we have less or more police killings? Did we have less or more housing crisis? Do we have less or more divorces? Do we have less or more children in the foster care system? So why would they lower the parameters for high blood pressure when everything else is through the roof?
Right.
Okay. So when you say the society,
right,
how can you make sense out of nonsense?
Come on, Dr. Love.
Somebody missed that.
You can't make sense out of nonsense.
Come on.
Add up.
I heard something yesterday that completely floored me. This guy who's a researcher, he went back to 1930. I'm sorry, he went back to 1916 when the idea of universal health care was floated in the United States Senate. And the prevailing opinion was not for Black folks. Then two presidents later, they floated it again. And they said, not for Black folks. This is all documented.
Right.
This is all documented. Now, I don't know if you remember President Roosevelt was in a wheelchair. He was the president during World War II. It was floated again. And he was a friend to us, not for Black folks.
Of course, right.
Now, fast forward to 1960, Kennedy is the president, and they said, okay, we're going to have universal health care, but you have to pay 20%. You got to pay into the system in order to get it. They thought that would knock us out of the economic box. They thought us paying it, we wouldn't be able to afford the 20%. So we could not get universal health care. I just heard this yesterday. This completely blew me away. So when white supremacy hiders, oh, I don't see color. Why are you always talking about race?
Come on.
That is total gaslighting. And I hope everybody knows what gaslighting is.
Oh, yeah, we just talked about that on our last show.
So even the white people who like you as a person don't like all of us.
Right.
How about that? That part.
Okay. They might like you as a person. They might like me as a person, but they don't like us. So whenever they plead ignorance or, oh, that, no, well, gaslighting. Gaslighting.
I have Black friends. Gaslighting.
In fact, they come over to my house once a year for the barbecue.
Right.
But they can't use the toilet.
Right. You have to go down the street.
So when you say the society, I'm like, what society are you talking about? You ain't talking about a society. You're talking about a divisive group of people who are trying to hold other people down. Okay?
Right.
Now, we think in terms of black and white.
Right.
Dr. King said white supremacy. And he was absolutely correct because they trying to keep everybody down.
Right.
Right.
Everybody, not us. Japanese, Latinos,
All of the above.
Everybody.
Asian people.
Everybody.
They trying to keep everybody down. So why aren't we smart enough to reach out to our other suppressed folks and create alliances?
Right.
Would make
Now,
sense.
the Black Panther Party tried to do that. And they killed every one of them that was reaching out to connect to other groups.
Facts.
Now, in the 70s, there was a Black Puerto Rican music merger in New York City. It was centered around a particular nightclub. They closed the nightclub and bought the building where the recording studios were, where we were trying to get together to mix Black and Puerto Rican music. They shut that down. In the 80s, there was gangs in New York who decided we weren't going to be gangs anymore.
Right.
And we're going to reach out and create this rainbow hip hop. The music industry shut that down, would not allow anybody to release any music that talked about peace, love, and harmony. They only wanted to talk about, you know what, gangs,
Right.
death, murder, kill, B, H, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We didn't realize that at the time because we're not all up into record company business or record company decisions. Okay? But I met one of the Marley brothers in South Beach who lived in England. He never lived with the Marley family because his mother was English.
Right.
So he grew up in England, moved to South Beach, and I was introduced to him and I'm like, hey man, why don't you make music like your father? And he looked at me like I was a bug on the wall. Wow. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 3 years.
Wow.
And the record companies won't buy my music if it sounds like peace, love, and harmony.
Wow. Was that Damien? Was that Damien?
That was Damien.
And Damien is great. I saw him at concert.
Right. Did a great piece with the minister too. Did you all know that?
Yes.
So until we distribute our own music, we're subject to someone else's control of what we put out.
That's right.
Okay. So when you say the society, I'm like, well, what are you talking about?
Right, right. What that be about?
What society is that? They're trying to suppress health. They're trying to suppress music. They're trying to suppress harmony. They're trying to repress housing. They're trying to repress education.
Don't sound like well-being, huh?
They don't sound like no society from my perspective.
Come on.
Right.
I guess we got some issues, y'all.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Love, you're talking about making sense out of nonsense?
You can't.
You can't.
You
Well,
can't make sense out of nonsense.
there's another word for sense. That's CENTS, but really it becomes millions and billions of dollars.
Right.
Because that's how they're feeding off of our ignorance. Because
They're
now,
feeding off of our ignorance.
every time they look on CNN and all these other major news broadcasters and television stations, every other commercial, they're trying to sell you a pill.
Right.
Yes.
Go talk to your doctor. Oh, you're suffering from depression? Go talk to your doctor about this pill. Oh, you're having some stomach problems because you ate too much. Well, we got a pill for you. Right. You're experiencing something else. Walking problems. We got another pill for you.
Right.
So everything is with a pill.
Sounds like that, Dr. Love, what you laid out, and Brother Tony's walking us right through it, is that the so-called well-being has gotten worse over the last year and a half. And all of those things you talked about haven't moved the needle in the right direction, huh?
Okay, so before COVID, we were a sick society. Before COVID. So what COVID did was make us more suppressed, more fearful, more anxious, more depressed, more sad, more lonely, more isolated, less economic foundation. So it made everything worse than it did before.
Wow, that's a great analysis.
When it first started, so let me back up a second.
Yes, sir.
The IRS wants to know how much money you make and how much money you keep. They want to keep track of every individual thing, right? So if they cut you off from your income, you have to rely on your reserves. Now, 3 months, some people are out of work. Some people get kicked out of their house. Some people can't make their car payments. 6 months in, white people start to suffer. You know what I mean? A year in, oh, we'll give you a loan, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. And then they start prosecuting people for taking the loans.
Right.
Okay? So from my perspective as a practitioner, the number one thing is fear. Now, fear attacks the urogenital system. What is that? When little kids are scared, what do they do in their pants?
They pee in their pants.
They pee in their pants. And when adults are scared, what do they do in their pants?
They
pee in their pants.
They also
They
poop in
get
their
scared whatless.
Scared wetless.
That's more than pee. That's more than pee. That's more than pee.
Okay.
But yeah, that too.
Urination.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to make a medical point here.
Excellent.
That fear attacks the urogenital system and
why
the
they say
base of the spine, and 50% of the people who are in chronic pain have back pain.
Wow.
So if fear attacks the muscles at the base of the spine, that's the cause of pain. Pain restricts your movement. If you can't move, how is the blood oxygenated and how are nutrients distributed? So fear makes you physically ill.
My God.
Fear makes you physically ill. Now, the number one mental illness in this country is anxiety. Anxiety attacks the hamstring muscle.
Wow.
The hamstring locks the pelvis at the bottom. And now you're locked at the bottom. You can't move. You can't stand up. You can't run. You can't bike, skate, swim, dance, climb a tree. So fear attacks the top of the pelvis. Anxiety attacks the bottom of the pelvis.
Are y'all hearing this?
Yes, yes, sir.
Wow.
So
Psychosomatic.
that's right. That's psychosomatic. And then there's psycho-emotional, and then there's psycho-spiritual. Okay? Now, there are individual Black folks who are doing well. For argument's sake, let's say 10%. Let's say 10% of Black folks are making 60 grand a year, have beautiful families and children in private school, maybe not private school, but homeschooling. But 50% of us are underfunded, underhoused, undereducated, and underjobbed.
Underemployed. Yes.
Underemployed. Okay. 50% of us. Okay. Now, there were several migrations from the South to the North because of police brutality, the KKK, white supremacy, and so forth and so on. So post-World War II, there was a migration of Black folks from the South to Missouri, Indiana, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, so forth and so on. Now, when they got there, could they afford an apartment? Absolutely not. So where did they stay? With relatives.
That's right.
So my father told me he never had his own room until he went to college.
Wow.
He said there was always some cousin from the South, from North Carolina, South Carolina.
Y'all know that's real.
Coming up and staying with them. And he's like, don't you have anywhere else to stay? He was a kid, so he didn't understand the whole economic thing. He's like, I don't have any privacy. So my father became a bookworm. That was his response. I'm just going to read a book. Unfortunately, he read science books.
Wow.
And became the first Black science teacher in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Bad.
The fruit don't fall far from the tree, I see, huh?
No.
I got big shoes to fill, brother. I got big shoes.
Dr. Love, wasn't your mother also, isn't she also an educator?
Thank you very much for bringing that up. My mother was the first Black female graduate from the Wharton School of Business in 1947.
Come
Oh,
on.
wow.
Aren't you the
1947, the first Black female graduate.
Wow.
Aren't you the first Dr. Love Black brother or sister on the planet to be certified in Chinese medicine?
In the state of Florida.
In the state of Florida.
In the state of Florida.
Another
There
first.
was Tupac's stepfather, Mutulu Shakur,
Wow.
was the first.
Wow.
Look at that.
What a history.
Wow.
Mutulu,
Did
Tupac's
you-
stepdad.
I know that.
Caught it.
Wow.
Caught it.
So
Everybody tuning in now is gonna go get some acupuncture.
Absolutely. On Tupac.
Look at you.
So
Tupac saying
that
that.
is
Bring the Tupac right there.
story. They did a documentary, and they invited me after the documentary to be a speaker at the showing of the documentary. And so I'm an elder in the Black Acupuncture Association of North America.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to tell a really short story. Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx had an acupuncture program. Mutulu was running it. They opened up a methadone clinic around the corner. Mutulu went there and vandalized it. They didn't know that there was cameras, and this is back in 1978. There was cameras, and he got fired from Lincoln Hospital, and he opened up an acupuncture clinic on 145th Street.
Wow.
Wow. So
I
now you
graduated
know the rest of the story.
from school in 1981, 3 years later. Mutulu has been accused of a bank robbery, and he wasn't even there.
Wow.
That's a whole long story. But I went to work at the Lincoln Hospital, and there is a 5-point protocol for drug detox, and I pioneered that program.
Wow.
Wow.
What a beautiful
Dr.
story.
Love?
Dealing with a jewel.
I'm trying to sell this ear acupuncture protocol to churches and Black community organizations for 25 years, and nobody wants to pay for it. They think I should do it for free.
Oh.
And I'm like, they're your family. The drug addicts are your family. You need to pay. Because white people pay 50 grand a month to
That's
get
right.
their kids, right? But that's the end of that short story.
Wow.
So what we need to do is understand that Black folks have been in Chinese medicine in America from the damn beginning. And that's a medicine that we need to utilize.
Well, we're definitely going to make sure, brother, that we utilize you, because our people, just in those few moments, family, just look at, first of all, how of the symptoms that are related to what people are feeling from COVID were covered and directly attached. Look how Dr. Love took us back to the early 1900s and brought us all the way back up today to show us how we are not in a state of well-being. And on that note, Dr. Love, over this last year, we've experienced a lot with the release of the vaccinations and the people not focusing on the holistic. I want to show you this. And as I'm showing you this, I'd like to ask you a question. And the question is related to, it seems as though that we have saw so far these transmutations of variants. They seem to be coming like every 2 months. And one of the things that we knew from the beginning is that they seem to keep popping up. And what I'm curious about, come out of this here is what I wanted to show you is this. Yes, is this, can you see that?
I got it up. This one?
Okay, it's up.
Oh, this one?
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, as we look at this, because here we are, we're trying to get out of this pandemic, so to speak. And this stat talks about how in September of 2020, 25,166 new COVID cases, no vaccinated Americans. And here we are, September 7, 2021, 301,138 new cases, but 177 million folks vaccinated. The question is, as these variants apparently will continue to rise, as this condition continues to move forward, what new way forward could we take so that we're not looking at worsening stats over the next year?
Back to basics. Back to basics.
And what are those basics?
Come on.
Breathing, meditation, internal exercise, external exercise, foods, herbs, and emotional connection.
You speak on that last one first, emotional connection.
Emotional connection. Okay. When you are born, the first 4 years of your life are the most critical. To you, your mother and father is God.
Mm-hmm.
They feed you, clothe you, put you to bed, keep you safe, take you out of danger, and you can't do anything unless you check with them. Then somewhere around the age of 4, you say, no, I don't wanna, and you separate yourself from your parents. And you wanna be independent. Now, my mother said, no child of mine is going to speak to me disrespectfully. I will pull your pants down in public and beat your little ass right here.
Period.
My father said, I will kill you and make another one that looks just like you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you bringing us some classics, boy. Put some classics on there, Dr. Love.
So, I didn't hate my father. I just didn't like him very much. By the time I was 45, I was like, that man was so kind and generous. And all I did was verbally abuse him. But I didn't know. I didn't have any reference points. And that's why I say emotional connection. Now, there is a guy in Canada. His name is Gabor Mate. He's written a dozen books. He was an emergency room doc, and his constituents were pimps, prostitutes, drug addicts in downtown Vancouver. And he intuited and then came up with evidence to show that the first 4 years, if that heart connection was not made, you are not going to turn out properly.
Wow, very interesting.
So he said, my mother was not in the Holocaust. Her mother was in the Holocaust. and her mother didn't give her any heart connection. So his mother could not give it to him. Now his mother said, I love you. She bathed him. She, gave him clothes, took him to school, made him lunch, but he didn't feel it. So she loved him, but he couldn't feel it. Now, in our community, how many of us felt the love?
Wow, bro.
Come on, teach.
That's a beautiful.
Because both my parents were school teachers, and I didn't feel the love. All I felt was criticism and judgment.
Wow.
In my 30s, I was able to have a conversation with them about the way I felt. And they said, you were so outspoken, we were afraid of you being killed.
Wow.
Because both of them had seen lynchings in their teens. My father in North Carolina, my mother in North Florida. They both saw lynchings. And they said, you were just aggressive. And we had to protect you. And the only way we could do that was to suppress you. So at 35, I got it. But at 10 and 15, I'm like, y'all are crazy. I'm bouncing. So I left home at 16 and made my own way in the world. And that was their greatest fear.
What a story. Wow,
that's a beautiful statement. And when you were touching on the love that that a child has to connect to the parent, and a lot of our parents, I'm going to say my parent is around your age, Dr. Love, and I'm the 7th of 8 children. And my mom love was, I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to allow my siblings to take care of you because I know that I have took care of them and I have trained them how to take care of themselves. So that was the love that I received from my mom. It was the nourishment, the house, whatever I needed to survive and maintain, but not the actual, I see my mother and I know that she's laying down. She had 3 or 4 jobs. She was doing it all on her own, right? But I knew that there was love there, if that makes sense.
Well, you felt it.
Yes, absolutely.
You felt it. So this guy, Gabor Mate, his position is some people go left and other people go straight ahead. Right. He was only trying to understand the people that went left.
Okay.
He didn't have any black clients in British Vancouver, Columbia.
Right. Not Vancouver.
So, Brother Tony, this conversation reminds me of some of the things you've been experiencing with our young people.
Absolutely, Brother Lyle.
COVID's kind of brought about some detachment and some emotional detachment. Is it? Could you speak on that? And then ask
absolutely. Let me give a little background because I got into some conversations with my students today, and the first thing I did to them, I said, I apologize to you because as adults, I'm apologizing in advance because as adults, oftentimes we don't take the time to listen to our children. We don't take time to listen to young people, which is extremely vital. We just see them acting erratic and we think, oh, something, like what's wrong? Shake it off, We don't take time to listen to them. And right before our eyes, students in the school systems all over America, not just here in Miami-Dade, not just in Florida, all over the country. They're just coming out of, being on camera for a year and a half. They're like relearning how to socialize.
Like
they're unraveling.
Yeah.
How would you overall assess the mental well-being of our children? And what strategies would you recommend for educators and anyone that's in contact with young people to undertake to bring them back to focus, bring them back to mental health, bring them back to spiritual health, and of course, bring them back to physical health?
Okay, this is something that I've been working on for the last few weeks. When we were kids, we didn't have cell phones.
Mm.
So the cell phone itself is a distraction.
Come on.
Of no consequence whatsoever. It's not making us any money. It's not uplifting us in any way. Number two, it's electromagnetic radiation. And anybody who's under the age of 18, it is literally destroying brain power.
Wow.
Dr. Love, they're falling asleep with their cell phones right next to them.
Right. Under the pillow.
Under the pillow.
The bra.
Whoa, I hate the bra.
Oh, I hate that.
Down the front of their pants. Okay?
Yes. I've seen it.
So the cell phone is one thing. Number two, we always had after school programs. Always.
That's right.
Bear witness.
They defunded the after school programs. So there's no more sports, there's no more music.
Right.
Now, when I got out of school, my parents said, you better be in the library because we're coming to pick you up.
From the
And
library.
if you're not in the library, we will skin you alive.
That's
Right.
So my after school program was the library
Right.
until I got to high school, and then I was in the music program. I was in the marching band.
Yeah.
Can you believe me in a marching band playing the clarinet?
Come on now.
I can see it.
You are a smooth brother.
So the issue is we lost the after school program and we're distracted. Now, in my neighborhood, we played something called half ball. So you took a tennis ball, cut it in half, and we played baseball with a half ball because you couldn't break a window with a half ball. But we were still sports oriented, and we had metal skates, and we would take the skates apart and nail it to the wooden milk crate, and we'd make go-karts.
Right.
We had single go-karts and dual go-karts and triple go. And I lived at the top of a hill that curved, and at the bottom was trolley tracks. Trolley tracks. So when you got to the bottom, you were going to crash for sure. So we learned how to fall, take a spill, and not get hurt.
Right.
Not go to the hospital.
That's key.
Hey, we made our own after school programs.
The possibility of the trolley coming, there was always that possibility.
Right.
But we could hear because the trolley's on metal. You know, a bus you can't hear coming, but a trolley you can hear it. So we developed skill sets that the kids today don't even have.
Right. Love. Yeah.
So to answer your question, Brother Tony, there has to be multiple after-school programs. So there has to be a history after-school program. There has to be a cultural, and by culture, I mean African dance, African drumming, making clothes, fabric, weaving, being self-sufficient. That's what I mean by cultural after-school programs.
Right.
So sports, music, dance, culture. Those programs have to be put into place. Now, will the parents pay for them? Half of the parents cannot. And the other half are like, are you going to go? Are you going to do? Well, you ain't doing it. I ain't paying for it.
Right. That's the attitude.
Dr. Love, I want to bring this up because that is right in the school system. But we do have children that are, they're being homeschooled, and a lot of parents with this whole vaccination, inoculation mandation or mandate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their children are staying at home. So what activities or what ideas, right, to keep them, you know, culturally motivated? Because there's things online that they can do as a group on Zoom. Now they have so many different things, activities. What can they do?
Uh-oh,
Oh,
Sister
wait a
Michelle.
minute. We see our
I think
head
you
moving
struck.
back.
I think you struck
I
a
can
love
see
nerve.
it.
You struck a love nerve. Go ahead,
Come
Doc.
on, Doc. Well, let's give
Okay, so let's
some options.
okay, so let's take a step back. All right. I just said the cell phone is a distraction,
Period.
Mm,
which means the computer
Is also a distraction.
is also
is
a
a
distraction.
distraction. We don't want anything online.
Mm.
Nothing do we want online. We want person to person. Can you learn to play the clarinet online? Can you take piano lessons? Well, an adult can, but a child, you know, how do you do the fingering on a piano online? You can't. Okay, so if there's a music program.
But I was gonna say, but Dr. Love, now all right, we here now. We got COVID. We got parents at home with their children.
Music teachers are everywhere. Guitar. Get a music teacher.
I can bear witness.
That's number one.
Mask
Number
up.
two, basketball. Number three, tennis.
Yes.
Okay, number four, soccer. Okay? Go outside. Get a soccer coach. Get 8 kids together and teach them soccer. Every black neighborhood has a park.
We must be recreationally active, is what I'm saying.
Dr. Love.
All right, so that's the
very,
ticket.
yeah.
So hold on, Dr. Love. So that's the ticket, audience. What he's saying is, listen, don't get your children out of the house. Maybe get some of their friends together, go in the park, and maybe, like he said, play soccer. There's baseball. They got a basketball court. Somebody could be out there training them how to play basketball. So there's things that you could do. Just come together, get your children together, and make it happen. Because we know that right now, having them in them schools is not helping either. So if you're going to have to keep your children at home, Dr. Love gave you a solution. So I just want to make sure that.
And not only that, I want to add to that, Dr. Love, if you don't mind. You know, a lot of times our children are really longing for that connection with
That's
you.
right.
They are really saying, hey, I have no other choice but to get on my phone or to get on my computer. You know, it was so funny. Me and my daughter, we went outside and I just drew a hopscotch, right? And
She didn't even know what it was, did she?
I had no idea.
Why you drawing them boxes?
Right. And so when I started hopping on one foot to try to get the, you know, because, you know, back in, you know, in my neighborhood, there is no broken glass, right? But, you know, back in the days, you can find broken glass anywhere, right? And that's what we used to use, and you know, to do hopscotch. So we had some pebbles, you know. So I threw the pebble, and I said, you have to start with 1 and go to 2, and you have to step on 1 feet. You can't step on 2 feet, because if you step on 2 feet, you're out. So she thought that was amazing. And she said, Mom, we got to do this tomorrow, okay? We got to do this tomorrow. So I automatically eliminated what she even wanted to go on YouTube. Double Dutch.
I was about to say Double Dutch too.
I was the Double Dutch guru
got
you know,
to get active,
and that was
family.
that was an after school program.
We can't come out of this pandemic not getting active, family. You heard it right here from Dr. Love.
And I bear witness to everything that's being said, because I make my students put their phones away. Like, look, I'm talking to you. Because I allow them to use their phone for research. They took away the laptops from my classroom. So I have conversations with them. I said, it's just you and me right now. They're not used to the personal interaction, not even with their parents.
Right.
They've lost that connection. And so what Dr. Love is talking about is right and exact. They have to make the actual human connection, because this generation has become very, what's the term?
Antisocial.
Not antisocial. There's another term for it. Introverted.
Introvert.
But introverted means that I know how to contact you technologically, but I don't know how to communicate with you as a person.
Right.
I
So
feel
family, as you're looking at your households right now, family, you should be doing a checkup from the neck up with your own household.
That's true.
Yeah.
How much more isolated has your household become? How much more involved or engaged in non-human activities?
Right.
We cannot come out of the pandemic, family, by using the tools of social control. Very great insight there, Dr. Love.
So there's two more points that I want to make.
Go ahead.
The first point is our language does not come from consciousness. Our language comes from repetition of the media. So we need to be disconnected from media-centered language.
I agree. I so agree.
Absolutely.
I so agree.
I agree as well. That's very true.
So I'm trying to think of several examples that I can use so that we can understand they are not trying to help us. Okay, so number one, if we ask a 13-year-old what is a uterus, they will not know.
Right.
The proper name for uterus is the birthing chamber. The proper name for vagina is the birth canal.
That's right.
So if you address things by their proper names, you know what they are. The word uterus means nothing. The word vagina means nothing. And in popular language, they say vajayjay, which is completely crazy.
That's baby language.
Okay? So if we say you can make your birth chamber healthy. Mommy, why do I have a birth chamber?
Wow.
Because at some point you are going to give birth.
Right.
Well,
Highly intelligent
do that. Okay. Now we all talk about advancing the race. We talk about saving the race. If you do not get married between the age of 16 and 25, we cannot advance the race. You have to be married between the age of 16 and 25. Now, all the parents are going to raise their hands like, that's too young, they're immature. The reason they're immature is because of the way you raised them.
Teach, Dr. Love.
Right, that
Dr.
part.
Love.
You raised them.
Wait,
You
hold
raised
up.
children to be dependent on you.
Dr. Love. Now, you know I teach history.
Yes.
So every year with my students, I show them examples of, and I'm going to use examples, Alexander of Macedon, who was conquering nations at the age of 16. And there were admirals in the U.S. Navy at age 13. There are other people in history that were conquering different nations and accomplishing great things in their teens. And so what we have done right now is just prolong childhood, not just into the teen years, but also in the 20s, 30s, and some of us even 40s and 50s.
We have infantilized our children. So puberty is 12, 13, 14. Marriage is 3 years after puberty. So if 13 is the average age, marriage is 16. Now, if you have one child every other year, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, you've had 6 kids between 16 and 25. And now you can work on your emotional balance to raise those children. Because the care, the changing of the diapers, the feeding, the clothing, all that, from grandma. That's grandma and auntie. Okay? And then when you hit 25, 26, now you get to work on yourself and then raise your children who are 6, 7, 8, 6, 8, and 10.
A new way forward.
That's our way forward. The only way we're going to build and strengthen the community is to get married younger, which means there has to be the after-school programs from first grade. There's got to be 12 years of after-school program. So by the time you finish high school, you are ready to get married.
Right.
Dr. Love, you have the skill set to start a job for yourself.
That's great. Family, as you're listening to this insight, we want you to wrap your minds around your own households and what you need to do to get some balance. Because as you're listening to Dr. Love share his experiences in these teachings, dear family, we know that the pandemic has made and exacerbated all of those areas. And it's even, as strange as it may seem, it's even shrunk, if you will, our outreach. We think we're all in on these computers now. As a matter of fact, Dr. Love, looking at this pandemic, what do you think our people here who are stuck in America need to know internationally?
Okay. Number one, stop using the word pandemic and start using the word quarantine.
Whoa.
Come on, Dr. Love.
I like that. I like
That's
that because that's
biblical
what
right
it
there.
is.
Speak
That's
on that,
exactly
brother.
Come on.
A pandemic is when people you know around you in your neighborhood, in your building, are dropping dead. If you don't know anybody in your neighborhood within walking distance will drop dead, that's not a pandemic. So that is a lie. It is not a pandemic. That's a media-sponsored word. The proper word is quarantine.
Quarantine.
We are mentally quarantined. Okay? So stop using that word. Okay?
I was tired of saying it anyway.
I think we all are.
So secondarily, a vaccination, there is a legal definition of a vaccination. There's a legal definition. And Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca will all admit that what they are offering you is not a vaccine.
That's right.
It is an injection of a medical substance. That is not a vaccine.
Gene therapy.
And you have the right to refuse.
That's right.
You have the right to refuse. Okay? Now, if the state of Texas and the state of Florida can say, we're not going to mandate anything, if Biden, when he first got elected in January, said, I can't mandate, the government can't mandate.
He did come on and say that.
Okay? So we're not going to use the word vaccine or vaccination. Now, people call me every day. What do you think about the, and I say, are you on a telephone?
Sorry.
Okay, so you are on a telephone, right? So you will understand when I respectfully decline to discuss this subject with you.
Right.
Beautiful teaching, Dr. Love.
And they're like, but, and I'm like, you're still on the telephone. Well, where are you going to go?
Sounds like general orders, Brother Lyle.
Okay, so they are listening. So let me explain. Edward Snowden, 10 years ago, said there are Autobots. And if you use a combination of any of this list of words in your conversation, then your telephone number is flagged and all your stuff is recorded. Now, there's no person listening to you, but there's an AI bot that has flagged your number for future. Now, this guy, this coach that got fired for some emails that he wrote 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Now, when Hillary was running for president, they passed a law that said it is illegal to delete email. It is illegal. So you want to delete your email because you want to sell your computer to somebody else or sell your phone, and you want to delete that. If at some point in the future you get caught in a crime, they want to go back 10 years and they want all your emails. And if you deleted them, even if they can't find you guilty of the crime they think you've committed, they're going to get you on, you deleted your emails.
Conspiracy.
Come on.
So therefore, anything you put in writing is a legal document.
Teach.
Anything you put in an email is a legal document. So when you say that B is an H and a
oh, wait a minute,
and then you get hit with a defamation lawsuit, email.
There it is right there.
You want access to her emails for the last 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay? So we need to be more careful. We need to be more careful.
Wow. You know, speaking of being more careful, Dr. Love, man, you're giving us so much insight. You know, we do this thing on our show, dear brother. We're always giving brothers and sisters a health tip of the week or tree of the week or herb of the week or technique of the week.
Wait, no, Brother Lau, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. You know when I say that, you miss something.
Here comes some. Come on, Sister Michelle.
We have, Dr. Love, you know, we have individuals that are outside of the U.S. that listen to us.
Right.
And so we do have an international kind of a spotlight every week where we talk about particular things that are going on. There's so many things that are happening outside of the U.S. that are, you know, that are impacting the whole world. And, you know, and even though that they say that, you know, we you know, we're not sheltered in the U.S., we are pretty much, because when you go out, you see all the news out there, all the things that are going on in
quarantine,
Sweden and Denmark, right? Quarantine. I mean, honestly, they have really done a job kind of hiding what's going on internationally. So you mentioned a lot because the stress level on the international side is just as high right now. I mean, literally, I'm not kidding you. They said recently that the people were protesting. So you got all this stress, all this adrenaline going on. People
it got violent in Italy, by the way, Sister Michelle. Those protests, those anti-mandate protests in Italy actually got violent.
Yeah, well, they shut Paris down. I heard on the new. It's an article. They shut. So, Dr. Love, all of these things that are going on right now, and you even said at the beginning of your conversation that the moment you got COVID, you reached out to your, you know, to the people that you know that, you know, that anywhere, I guess, in the world that you needed to contact them to kind of say, hey, what do I do? So to kind of give back from an international perspective, I don't know, what is your thoughts or your perspective on what is happening and any advice, right, that you can give to our international family that are going through what we're going through, but they're taking it a step further. I don't know what's going on in the U.S., but they're definitely making sure that it's being known that they are not willing to lose their homes, their jobs, their families, their income over something that we're all seeing is just a political thing.
Okay, so you can go 40 days without food. You can go 14 days without water, but you can only go 4 minutes without air. So breathing is the single most important thing you can do. What is the muscle that makes you breathe? Does anybody know?
Are you talking about lungs?
Your diaphragm. Your diaphragm. Your diaphragm.
The diaphragm muscle.
Diaphragm.
Now, I'm assuming that 3 of the 5 of us are college graduates.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And we don't know that the diaphragm is what makes you breathe, which is the single most important thing that keeps you alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not faulting you and I'm not ridiculing you. I'm just saying that our culture has not made that a priority. Now, I teach 8 different breathing exercises. 8, not 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe. That's all I need to know. Put one foot in front of the other. I know how to walk. You don't know how to walk. You fall forward.
Mm.
I took 17 lessons in walking. 17 1-hour classes in walking.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
Yes, sir.
so much sense.
So
Yes.
we don't know how to walk, and we don't know how to breathe, and we don't know how to drink water, and we don't know how to drink tea.
Mm.
We don't know how to make tea, let alone drink tea.
Oh Lord, that's
Basics.
not starting.
Okay, so when I say back to basics, I really mean back to
Y'all got
basics.
Google.
Back to
Baby.
basics.
Now,
Crawling.
the first time I went to Africa, I went to a place called Togo. Togo is in between Ghana and Benin,
Right.
and Burkina Faso's on the other side. And my grandmother used to make fun of Black folks who walked a certain way. They kind of slouched when they walked. And my grandma was like, look at that lazy end.
Oh Lord, grandma was rough.
So, my grandmother was rough.
Oh.
Man.
She had a cane, and if she didn't like the way you looked at her, she'd smack you in your legs. Don't look at me like that. And I'm talking about
That's
strangers.
rough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about strangers. I'm not talking about people she knew.
Man.
She had a white lawyer, and she called him Mr. Cracker. She called him Mr. Cracker. Okay. So my grandmother was rough. So now I'm in Africa and I see people walking that way that she was appalled by. So I asked my host, why do the people walk like that? And they said, to conserve their energy because it's so damn hot.
Wow.
It's 99 degrees in the shade.
Oh God.
And that is a conservation mechanism.
Mm.
And I was like, wow.
Wow.
Mm.
You can conserve energy by the way you walk?
Wow.
The other thing I learned in Africa is you cannot walk and drink.
Mm.
It disrupts your digestion because the blood is not in your stomach, the blood is in your legs.
Wow.
Mm.
So whatever you're drinking while you're walking,
Or running.
yeah, some people do that.
Yeah.
So I don't have to tell you about eating in the car.
Oh God.
You gotta tell our people every damn thing because y'all we guilty as charged. Y'all know all that stuff.
So
Do a
if
whole
you-
meal, 50 miles an hour. Go ahead.
all right, so this is basic.
Basic.
This is basic. You want health tip? You want to change somebody's perspective? That takes months and months and months. Okay? Now, if you wanted to learn tennis, would you take one class or would you take a series of classes?
A
Go ahead,
series of
Rob.
classes.
Classes.
And once you had the basics, would you practice once a week? If you wanted to get good, you'd have to practice
3 times.
Every day.
5 days a week.
Yeah, 5 days
At
a week
least.
until you halfway master it.
Say that.
Until you halfway master it.
Okay, when did Tiger Woods start playing golf?
As a child.
4 years old.
4 years old.
4 years old. When did Venus and Serena start playing tennis?
As a child.
6 and 7.
Mhm.
So when you say to me, what can I do to change the spiritual, emotional, psychological perspective of people all over the diaspora? Come and train with me for 3 years.
Woo!
That part.
Come and train with me for 3 years, and then I can train you. And I can change your mental, psychological, spiritual perspective.
Dr. Love, can I give a testimony?
Please.
I remember I was getting acupuncture by you, and I was getting acupuncture for, I think it was 8 months straight, like 2 or 3 times a week, because I had an issue with my, at that time, I had an issue with my kidneys. And our brother brought me back to health.
Beautiful.
You know, then, of course, I opened it up with other activities that I was doing on my own. But I remember specifically there was an older man there. He was literally, I think, living with you, Dr. Love, for about 30 days. And when I first saw the man, he could barely move from one location to another. It took him like 30 minutes to get from one side of a room to the other. And then by the end of the month, I saw the man. I'm like, is this the same man? The man was like, moving real fast. So that's why I highly recommend anyone, like if you have any ailments, go see our brother. You know, because
and not just one, not just a one-hit corner like Johnson and Johnson.
No.
Pause.
No.
If I have to teach you how to breathe, and I have to teach you how to walk, and I have to teach you how to make tea and drink, how are you going to do? That doesn't make sense.
Right. You know, Dr. Love, I can only bear witness to what you're saying simply because when I was diagnosed, they diagnosed me with hypothyroidism. I was having problems with my heart just start flattering every time I did movement. And at the time I was training for boxing. And they had to actually bring in a breathing coach for me because my doctor told me, whatever you do, you need to stop boxing because you're going to have congestive heart failure if you if you don't know how to control your heart. So my coach at the time, he was specifying, he said, hey, when you're talking about any type of congestive heart failure, it always starts from the air you breathe. You can stop yourself from having a heart attack. And I was like, really? So he brought in a breathing coach, which I never heard that before in my life. And I did a 90-day class with just breathing. So I used to be like, coach, I'm going in the ring. No, you have training on breathing. And I had to learn how to breathe because it was times, like you said, I can barely go from one corner to another corner without holding my heart and saying, oh my God, what's going on? Wow. So I can bear witness to that breathing exercise. And even on my day-to-day, when I do exercise on a regular basis, I have learned the technique to, even when we're talking, we're supposed to be inhaling from our diaphragm and then speaking.
That's right.
A lot of people speak from here, and that's what affects the actual thyroid. So when you start speaking from your diaphragm, that's when you start getting what you need in order to save your life.
You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Now, did your boxing coach tell you to exhale on the punch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, all I would have added to that is to do it slower.
Right.
all I would have added to that is to do it slower.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, did you use a heavy bag?
I did, but very light, because he was also a person that dealt with Chinese medicine as well. So we did a lot of Tai Chi. And that had a lot to do with my breathing as well. Because at first I wanted to box. I wanted to knock somebody out, right? I wanted to just hit you and just be out, you know. But he was like, it's a therapy to everything. So it was kind of like I was shadow boxing in slow motion with him. So we didn't do a lot on the heavy bag. We did a lot of shadow boxing in regards to breathing in and breathing out. And it was kind of like, it kind of reminded me of Karate Kid. It's like, when I'm good in the ring. And he's like, wax on, wax off. So he was that type of boxing coach.
I like him already.
Yeah.
Looks like you gotta do
I
something.
must point out that you're wearing a necklace that will prevent you from being choked out.
Right.
Mm.
Yep.
Now, one of the things I teach is called plucking your thyroid. So this muscle right here is called the SCM. And when you pluck that, you stimulate the carotid artery,
That's right.
which sends 3 bits of the blood to the brain and stimulates the thyroid and the parathyroid, which regulates your metabolism and your calcium magnesium balance.
Right.
Now, when you start doing this 16 times, 3 times a day, all these muscles loosen up, which increases blood flow to the brain.
Look at
And
that.
then guess what happens?
Oh, wow.
I can't really see that.
Oh, he's doing
It's moving, man.
Yeah, let me see.
Leila, maybe we could.
Oh, I see.
It is.
Okay, there it goes.
Okay, I see that now. Okay, Dr.
Okay.
got muscles in the thyroid. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Now, if somebody grabbed you and you grabbed their throat and then pulled them down, they are completely at your mercy.
Right.
Now, the Western mindset is to knock somebody out.
Right.
The Eastern mindset is to get them to submit.
That's right.
Teach.
Okay,
Submit.
submission
Right.
versus knocking them out.
Right.
Give them a way out.
In my past, when I was the victim of aggression and I sidestepped and put them in a submission hold, every one of those guys is my friend to this day. To this day, I'm friends with all of those guys. But the guys that we got into this slugfest, when they see me coming, they cross the other side of the street. And that's a potential enemy.
Right.
Okay? So since we are a fractured community to start with, we need to learn how to embrace the antagonist. We have to embrace the people who antagonize us. So when brothers get loud on me, like some Muslim brothers get loud on me, and I said, I cannot fight or argue with a black man. I cannot. So you're right, I apologize. So when we start learning how to be more humble, then the heart opens and people can hear us. But if we have an opinion and we're so attached to the opinion, the other person can't hear us.
Dr. Love, I have to ask you this, brother, because you're giving us so much. I want you to envision our community having practice what you're sharing with us and what you're teaching. And let's say we've been practicing it for 10, 15 years. What effect would a COVID-19 or a so-called new virus have on a community that has those kind of internal system built up and built in.
Okay. So let's start with it's going to get worse, not better. That we have roach spray, right? It kills roaches. And then at some point, the roaches mutate, and the spray doesn't work. And then
y'all know that's true. Y'all know that's
I
true.
tried it on the spider today. I tried it on the spider today. That spider drunk that stuff like it was.
Michelle,
and you got
those roaches in New York are like ginormous.
Okay.
Come on, Dr. Love.
So to answer Brother Lyle, some of us are going to slack, and they're going to die because they slacked. But the ones of us who live, we're going to learn how to, okay? Now I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. Uganda is a big country, and people live in their areas for hundreds, if not thousands of years. When Idi Amin became whatever, he wanted to punish particular ethnic groups. So instead of killing them or locking them up, he picked up the whole community and moved them 400 miles away. And he took them and moved them to the other spot. Now, if I'm living in the same place for 400 years, 1,000 years, whatever, I have built up an immunity to the bacteria, virus, fungus, and parasites that are in my area. And if you move me 400 miles away, I have no immunity. I am going to die. And if my parents die, then the girls become prostitutes. And the boys become drug dealers. So he destroyed whole communities without literally shooting people or putting them in jail.
Wow. Something to think about.
Is your biology. Your geography is your psychology.
Right.
So it's
Can
about
you say that again, Dr. Love? That last point again?
I said your geography is your biology, your geography is your psychology.
Excellent.
I bear witness. You know, Dr. Love, I work with exchange students who actually come here for in the United States, and they go to school, or what they'll do is kind of be like a helpmate to like a family, with their babies and everything. And normally, I'm telling you, when they get into the United States, they automatically get to the point where they get sick, they break out, their digestive system start being affected, and again, like you're saying, I can totally bear witness, because they get really sick, and it'd be like in their home country, they never even had a cold. So when they come into the United States, now they're being affected, and they have to go back home because they cannot take the geographics of the United States.
So I had a patient who was from Iceland. She came to FAU, which is in South Florida for people who don't know. She ate the same exact food here that she ate at home. She gained 30 pounds in 13 weeks.
Wow.
She went back home. She lost the 30 pounds. She came back here and gained 40.
Oh,
Wow.
And then she came to me and said, "What the hell?"
what's going on?
So your geography is your biology.
That's right.
Okay? So East Coast, West Coast, Seattle, San Diego, Houston, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, all very different climates. And the food is different in every one of those areas.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Okay. I know a ton of Chicago people who moved to Florida, and a year later, they had to go back to Chicago. Florida was killing them.
Literally.
Yeah. Let's say you're from the Caribbean. You come to the US and you eat the same food that you ate in the Caribbean. 7 years later, you're still going to get sick.
That's right.
Because the soil and the air is going to make you sick, even though you're eating the same exact food. So I don't know what to tell you, except that we need a place to go to for 7 years.
My.
We need a place for 7 years.
That's what it sounds like, Dr. Lau. Brother Dr. Lau. Finding people here.
Brother, listening to the doctor.
Hey.
7 years. So, wow, Doc. So with that prognosis being shared, and I know we have to make this awesome plane that's flying, because I really feel like we've taken a look at the so-called pandemic from an above
Quarantine.
Right?
Quarantine.
That's why we call it so-called. Gotta divest.
It ain't so-called no more. It's quarantine.
Quarantine. Quarantine.
Got to change the mindset, Brother Lau.
We were able to look at this quarantine from a holistic perspective.
Right.
And now coming to the end conclusion that we need 7 years of repair.
Come on.
7 years of repair.
Oh man.
You know, so Dr. Love, I know we have to get ready to close out, and you share so much.
I have a gift for Doctor.
Oh.
A gift?
A gift.
Oh, man.
I'm going to show you what I've been doing after we had our last talk. And I said, you know what? When Dr. Love sees this, he's going to be so proud of me.
No. Wait a minute. Because there was supposed to be a dance off. I'll digress.
No, I got to go and see Dr. Love. I'm gonna go to his territory. So it's whatever with that. But I'm going to show Dr. Love what I've been doing in regards to.
Oh, there she is. That's Sis Kalila right there.
There you go.
Right now.
Every time's coming, I let me go. I feel it get stronger. Come on, let it in. What makes you fly? You must remember the music will set you free. I'm flying in the highway. I want to.
And this is a couple other, but this is actually, look, brother, Dr. Love, this is actually 40 minutes of just an hour actually, of non-stop.
You need to feel the power. The music sounds fine to me. I'm flying in the magic, coming back into my dream. Yeah, I want it out to you.
Hey, you gotta make a video. Zumba.
That's great.
Queen.
It's absolutely great.
Hey, if Richard Simmons was able to sell those kind of videos, Sister Kalila, you can sell that.
All right.
Exactly. Good job.
I've been busy, Dr. Love.
She has.
Dr. Love, we did have two questions from the audience.
Oh, yes.
There's a brother Kadeem here. He asked, what insurance do you take, if any?
Okay, so you already know I don't take insurance. You already know I'm not messing with them.
Listen, the best doctors don't take insurance.
This is true.
Why am I messing with them?
That is true.
All right now. All right now.
So, but on that note, obviously, Dr. Love, people are interested in what you have to offer. And as we're weaning or throwing people off of these traditional systems, what advice do you have for someone who would want to partake in your services and want to secure you, whether as a mentor or a coach or a physician?
What advice is that? Is it you said, or how did they get started? Call
I
me
think
on the phone and
that's
make
it.
an appointment.
How do you get started, Dr. Love? How do you get started?
You see it right there,
his
website,
website
family,
right
coming
there.
across. Got the
Oh, you can
website,
use the phone
Email.
number.
got the
You can use the phone.
email, got the phone number. That's like assurance instead of insurance.
You can use the phone for that, family.
Go ahead, Dr. Love.
Most people come to me and say, my shoulder, my neck, my back, my stomach, my knee. They come to me in pain. And then I discover you have a lung issue, you have a kidney issue, you have a spleen issue, and the spleen is going to take a year to fix, the lung is going to take 6 months, the liver is going to take 3 months. And they're like, well, how much is that going to cost? And my question is, how much is it going to cost if you ignore it?
That part.
Hospital, surgery, death, sad family. What's that going to cost?
Right.
Okay. Now, let's suppose, Brother Lyle, you had a Lamborghini. And your Lamborghini took a special high test that cost $5 a gallon. Now, regular was only $3 a gallon. And you start thinking, I can't afford high test. I'm just going to put regular in my Lamborghini.
Trouble.
The system.
Trouble,
How long is
trouble,
your engine going to last?
trouble, trouble, trouble.
Okay. So it's going to cost more to get the engine fixed than it would have to pay for the high test.
Great analogy.
Okay? Now, let's suppose one of your tires was low. Is there anything wrong with your car? The engine, the oil, the radiator, your car is fine. If just one of the tires is a bit low, eventually that tire is going to wear, it's going to blow, and if you don't have an accident, you're stuck in the driveway.
That's right.
Great analogy.
Okay? So the little thing that we ignore because organic costs too much. So what's the alternative? Cancer, diabetes, heart disease? Okay? So our thinking, how much does it cost? That's wrong thinking. The thinking is, how can I get as healthy and strong as possible so I can make more money and leave generational wealth to my family?
Go ahead.
Right. Come on, teach, Dr. Love.
That's
So
right.
we're asking the wrong question.
That's
We have not been taught critical thinking. We adopt their way. It's all about money. Is money your God?
Come on, Dr. Love.
Or is love your God?
Go ahead.
Do you love yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you accept yourself?
Good question.
Because you can't love, value, or accept anyone else unless you do it to yourself.
Come on. That's right.
Okay? So if I give myself value, I don't question how much it costs.
That's true.
So I went to a church. I gave a talk about weight loss. It was $99. And the women were standing around the table and they were hemming and hawing. And this brother walked by with leather handbags for $129. Half the women went and bought leather purses.
Wow.
Woo. Teach, man.
which were not going to help them with their health or their weight loss. But they wanted to look good.
They wanted a nice bag.
Wanted to look good dying.
So my head said, this is not my community.
Right.
This is not my community. I went to the white church the very next week.
Y'all already know what happened.
Come on.
Y'all already
Come
know.
on, say it.
I ran out of supplies. Now I'm a black man in a white church. And I sold out.
Okay, brother.
Yeah,
Dr.
they
Love.
love Brother Loud. Dr. Love, they identified the black stone.
Who has the self-value?
My God.
I can't help people that don't want to be helped.
Come on.
But,
That's
but
right,
Dr.
Dr.
Love,
So it's not about how much does it cost. It's how much is it going to cost me when I get sick.
right? But despite having those experiences, Dr. Love, has not stopped your love for Black people. And I know personally that you do everything that you can when you have your Black clients. You do everything that you can for them.
Salute.
And that's why you are a gem in our community, my brother.
Yes.
You are more than just a name, brother. That name that you wear, dear brother, is in motion.
That's right. Dr. Love, we do have another question from just a very brief one from Sister Dawn Muhammad. She is in 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. She asks, can you ask Dr. Love for me if he attended Temple University when our brother Bill Cosby was there, and did you meet him?
He was a few years ahead of me.
Yes, sir.
He was a few years ahead of me, and I absolutely loved Bill Cosby. So,
I mean, Sister Dawn was listening to that bio, see? Shared experiences, right?
She heard Temple.
Beautiful.
and he was a tennis player, by the way. My father was a tennis coach.
Wow.
So, so Simon Gratz High School
In New York.
in Philadelphia.
Okay, Philly.
So the drama club was putting on a production, and they wouldn't let the Black girls try out for the lead because they were better singers, and they didn't want the Black girl in the production. So my father went to the principal and said, "You gotta let them try out.
Right.
If they're no good, they're no good. But you gotta let them sing, and you need an audience to hear them sing, and let the audience decide."
Right.
The drama coach quit,
I bet he or she did.
and my father became
Wow.
de facto drama coach.
Wow.
That's what you call move. Get
The
out the way.
tennis team would not let Black players try out for the tennis team. My father went to the principal. They tried out. Tennis coach quit. So now my father's a tennis coach. And this went on for years.
Is his middle name Imhotep by any chance?
No, he was Dr. George Love Sr. That's why I said I got big shoes to fill.
Yes, sir.
I got big shoes to fill.
Well, you're
Because
doing
in
a great
addition to
job
teaching
in those
biology,
shoes, brother.
he had to learn all these other things. So tennis is a big deal, and we should all learn how to play tennis.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a
I know the
basketball
Lord
coach made me
did.
join the tennis team to work on my hand-eye coordination.
Wow.
You're right, Dr. Love. I actually I don't know how to play very well, but I do take my son out, and we just kind of hit the ball to each other, and he's gotten better than me.
7th Region Coalition tennis tournament coming on now. See?
The dance challenge,
Singles,
first,
doubles,
and
mixed
the tennis challenge.
Now, I want to mention one thing. If we want to eliminate mental illness, we need to create team sports.
Come on.
I can bear witness
team
to that.
sports.
Yeah,
I can bear witness to that.
Because everybody on the team has equal value.
Right.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay.
So, freedom, justice, and equality is a team sport.
Of these, it was in Korea, and it was a martial thing, and they were all under 8 years old. And the little boy couldn't break the board, and he started crying. And all the other students crowded around him and said, "You can do it, you can do it, you can do it." And then finally, he broke the board. But he had the support of all of the students. Now, you know, in our community, if somebody can't do one thing, they're going to ride him for the next 3 months.
That's what we do. Y'all cut that out. Y'all know we do that. Y'all cut that out.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we need to have this love for each other. We need to stop the criticism and the ridicule. Okay? Because we know that comes from them. Because in Africa, they don't do that. I know for a fact.
Wow.
They don't belittle each other. They don't disempower each other. They don't emasculate each other. They don't do that in Africa. But we do it here because of those people.
Dr. Love, I'll even share this. In just teaching in the school system, when I worked at Booker T. Washington Senior High School in Overtown, a lot of the elders there that went to Booker T during segregation, he said, well, we didn't have ESC at that time. We just had those that needed a little help, and we did everything that we could to help them. We helped them read. See, like, nobody was left behind. I know that's a slogan by this educational system here, but it was actual practice for Black folks during segregation.
And
that connects to our great past, my brother.
So, Brother Lyle, you asked me a question, how can we help? And this is how we can help. Acceptance, value, trust. You wanted a tip? That's the tip. Acceptance, value, trust. This is how we eliminate mental illness. Because if we didn't get it from mom and dad, we have to get it from each other.
My.
That's how gangs are formed. Gangs become mommy and daddy because there's no self-esteem at home. So the gang looks out for each other. They make sure everybody gets fed. They make sure everybody has clothes. They make sure everybody has the pop-in sneakers. Okay? So we have to be the gang without violence.
Come on.
Right.
We got to be the gangsters of love.
Come on now.
Gangsters of love. I like
The
that.
gangsters of Black love.
Go ahead,
That's
brother.
right.
That is the tip.
Beautiful.
You can share with the people outside of the continent of the United States.
We will share that. And also, while you're sharing that, family, don't forget to pluck your thyroid. That was another tip you got there. Plug it. Get the big old strong muscle next up. Right?
Yeah,
So much you received tonight, family. What an aerial view of the quarantine, Dr. Love. We thank you so much, dear brother, for your time, your knowledge, your work, your sacrifice, and not just a name, brother, your love indeed.
Thank you, Brother Lyle. And Sister Michelle, you didn't ask enough questions. You should have had your son. You should have had your son here and let him ask some questions.
Listen. He's going. Listen, we're going to see you anyway because I don't have any health issues, but I absolutely want to make sure because my family has got all types of stuff going on. And I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to our teachings and our minister, right? Comment with How to Eat to Live 1 and 2 and Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I certainly though want to ensure that I stay healthy and along with my son too. I have 3 boys. But my youngest son He does, you know, there's some things that he suffers from that I believe you should, you know, that you can help him with. So I will absolutely reach out.
Beautiful.
Me and my son,
Beautiful.
from me and my
Right,
son.
yeah, look, Dr. Love, tell her about that acupuncture. You don't have to be sick.
No.
Everybody needs a tune-up.
Everybody needs a tune-up.
Everybody needs a tune-up.
Everybody needs a tune-up.
30, 40, 50 years without a tune-up.
That's right.
Okay? So there's seasonal detox. There is electrical tune-up with the acupuncture. There's a herbal tune-up every full moon. I mean, there's so many ways. There's alternating hot and cold water. I mean, there's so many self-care practices that we could adopt without you seeing me at all.
You do cupping as well, Dr. Love?
Oh, man. So there's 10 tools in my toolkit. 10. Okay? So this is called body drumming. Okay, so there's body drumming.
And when you do it to your children,
pressure. There is electrostim. There's auricular therapy. There is sound. There is light. There is magnetism. There is cupping. There is gua sha. Okay, so those are 10 different things.
What is gua sha?
Gua sha is scraping. Okay, so ladies who get puffy around the eyes, there's a little rosy quartz thing that they roll around the eyes to get rid of the puffiness.
Wow.
I saw that before.
Okay, you get a swelling on your arm, you take a tortoise shell and you scrape the arm, and that little bump that was there is gone because it gets reabsorbed by the lymphatic system. Okay? So there's all kinds of ways to self-heal without seeing me.
Wow.
Dr. Love, we do have a couple more questions now.
Okay.
Sister Maya is asking, will acupuncture help her diabetes?
Okay, so the question to Maya is, what caused your diabetes? Because there's adult diabetes, there's juvenile diabetes, there's gestational diabetes, and there's diabetes from just hanging out in the hospital too long.
How about that?
So there's different kinds of diabetes, but I'm going to assume that she means adult onset diabetes. Now, I took a woman who was 50 years old and I put her on a program and she canceled every appointment. But she was taking an African dance class. At the end of 10 weeks, her diabetes was gone.
Wow.
So she never made an acupuncture appointment, but she did African dance twice a week for 10 weeks. Diabetes was gone. Now, for gestational diabetes, you are definitely going to need acupuncture and herbs.
Give our brother a call. We have another question from, one moment.
Sister
Izebe. She asked the question, which one of these therapies shared is best for shoulder pain?
Okay, so this is called rotational rhythmic exercise. Now, when you do this, your shoulder is going to hurt. So it's going to hurt here, it's going to hurt here, it's going to hurt here. It's going to hurt somewhere as you do this. Now, once we identify where the pain is, then we can do the acupuncture, we can do the magnets, we can do the heat therapy, we can do the ice therapy, we can do the electrostim. Okay? So the movement reveals the restriction, and then we know how to treat it.
Beautifully said. Family, I don't want to be the timekeeper or the time killer.
Yes, you need to be the time. Listen, all right, listen, hold on. Before we do anything, can we please do the tree of the week? And then I want to thank Dr.
I think we
Love.
got more than the tree of the week. I think we got a tree, a branch, a leg. We got plucking. We got 10 trees. We got a lot of trees. This week.
Right. We got a whole. We got a lot of branches from the tree, Brother Lau.
You got a forest.
Right, you got a forest.
Jeez Louise, good geez. Okay, come on, no. Tree of the week. Tree of the week.
No,
we're gonna let Brother Dr. Love give us a tree of the week.
He already did.
Okay. I like this idea.
Yeah, he's saying.
The tree of the week.
He gave us a garden of the week, family. Let's just be real. We got a whole Ponderosa garden of the week.
Can I make a suggestion, Brother Lyle?
Absolutely.
Download this video, cut it up into sections,
and learn,
and create a video of all of the tips.
I love it. I love that, Dr. Love.
And make a video of all the tips, and then we can sell it, and half of the income can go to the organization.
I like that. See, I like,
Hey,
ching, ching,
right?
ching.
The love that keeps on loving and giving. See that?
And
fact, let me get a couple more of these in here, because I need them.
Listen, it'll help. It'll help. You know why? It's a beautiful thing, because we need as much resources as we can to help continue to do what we do, to bring on Dr. Love. I mean, it would have been wonderful. We could have given him a love offering. So these things, Dr. Love, that idea is a very good idea. It's not a selfish idea. It's a giving idea. It's an exchange. And that's what I like about that idea.
Beautiful. And we will follow through.
There you go. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Now get that elbow in there, Sister Michelle. Get that elbow in there. There you go. All right. There you go. All right.
I just dunked it.
Team sports. So you guys figure out what sport, and then get the different mosques to create teams, and then do a competition. And then once you get it going, then you invite younger people in little by little.
There you go. There you go. I like that.
We got everything tonight, family.
I was gonna say, Minister Patrick.
Right? Is that a tree enough for you, Michelle?
That is. Yes.
I'm gonna say to Sister Maya real quick. Give our brother a call, because he can help you out with those breathing techniques himself. Also,
yes.
There's eight breathing exercises. So you can't learn them all in the same
night.
You got to learn one and practice it, and then the second one and then practice it, and the third one and then practice it.
Excellent. But family, I know we have to close out, but we cannot close out. This is a very special weekend coming up.
That's
and
right.
If we can just put up that flyer, I believe this is the 26th anniversary of the Million Man March.
You don't want to miss this one, family.
And this Sunday, October 17th, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Student Minister Ishmael, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, will be leading us as we reflect upon this great anniversary. 26 years ago, wow, the Million Man March. So much more to reflect on, but we couldn't close out tonight without mentioning that great historic occasion, family.
That's right.
All right, and remember, you know why,
everyone is invited.
Go ahead.
Right? I'm sorry. I said everyone tuning in is invited.
NOI.org.
That's right.
Thank you.
Tune in Sunday, 11 a.m.
And also, too, very good question. As far as Sister Kim, here is his IG. I just put it in the chat.
Excellent.
So, however, whatever way
you can reach him by railway.
Oh,
However you want to get him, man.
Our brother will be on TikTok too.
I was like, Lord,
If anybody wants to do a love offering, you can do it from Facebook. I think.
Facebook.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Dr. Love, you're located in Boca Raton?
Yes, I'm halfway between West Palm and Fort Lauderdale.
Beautiful. You're close. I'm close. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Lucky you. Lucky you. I'm in Jacksonville, Dr. Love.
Then you need to invite me to Jacksonville.
Hey,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do Zumba together.
Saving life. She's still setting you up for that dance piece, brother.
I'm mad.
Obviously, you know, she remembered that dance challenge you made the last time you're on
I'm
here.
ready.
She mentioned that Zumba was 40 minutes straight. She was just warming up. And she letting you know now. Come on up.
She can do the warm up, but when you start doing the qigong.
Well, hold on. You don't do something out there. Now I gotta learn something else.
Listen, we will come wherever you are, Dr. Love. And if you go up to Jacksonville, I'm just gonna have to follow you up there as well. Listen, we appreciate you. No, we do. We appreciate you, and it's been an absolute pleasure. We always have a good time when you're on here.
Always,
I really, honestly, and and just the experiences that you shared this evening, the stories, the examples. I mean, these are blessings, by the way, audience. This is, this, you don't always get this kind of information, details, and Dr. Love literally giving it away. So only thing we ask is that we're going to do what you said, Dr. Love. We're going to cut up this video, make it available. And, people want to donate or however you want to help the 7th Street Coalition and Dr. Love, that would be greatly appreciated. His information is on the screen. His telephone number is on the screen. He already said he will come where you are. Just make sure you give him some room and board, some food.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Take,
and our
take
lives
care
are
of
on
the
the
man.
line. Take advantage of it.
Take care of the man. And listen, we appreciate, again, you all staying and hanging on with us this long. We know it's late. We're gonna let you go. I'm just saying, I had to shut it down, Dr. Love. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you again for being here. It's been our absolute pleasure. Again, thank you the audience. Thank you, everybody. Kim,
Sister Michelle,
Kim,
Sister Michelle,
Yes,
since Dr. Love made that analogy about, the gangs, and you have to turn the gangs into nonviolent gangs, I just want to remind people of the 7 Region Coalition real quick, family, right? We're not a gang, but we love you, and we surely are a coalition.
That's right.
7 Region Coalition!
It's always the fingers. It's always the fingers.
I'm just going to do this, fam.
Who the 5? 777.
Dr. Love, we're
Unity.
going to sign off. Say, do the something. Say, assalamu alaikum. We're closing out. And by the way, I just want to say before I close out the broadcast, because I'm a New Yorker, Maya, I grew up in New York, had issues in New York, came down to Florida, and somehow they cleared up. Don't know what it is, but anyway, to my fellow New Yorkers,
she's really West Indies. She's really West Indies.
Stop telling on me. Stop telling. All right, anyway.
I came from New York 1991. And I've been here ever since.
I came in 89. No, I'm sorry, 98. 98. I was like,
South Florida's been my home since 2007. Been a blessing. 7 Region Coalition.
All my life. All my life, folks.
Dr. Love, the Floridians.
Maya, are you still pregnant, or how old is your child?
Maya pregnant?
Maya Cañonero Santiago.
I don't think she's pregnant, brother.
I think she said she came when she was 7.
Oh, okay.
Came to
07. She came
in 07.
Getting people married and you and Sis Kalila making people have babies. Good Lord, y'all, what's going on in here, family?
Wait, but Dr. Love, here you go. No,
She
I'm
said
not.
she had gestational diabetes, which you can only get when you're pregnant. So I was asking her, how old is her child?
Okay. Right. Well, you know, duh. Of course, we all knew that, Dr. Love. Beautiful, brother. No, we didn't. That's why I'm saying we did.
Okay,
That's
it's
why they
definitely
chose
time to shut it down, Michelle.
Thank you.
Look, even Sister Zebe is saying it's time to go.
So, like, oh my Lord, Jesus.